Hi, I'm Tammy Hollins, the minister here at West Epping Uniting Church, coming to you from West Epping Uniting Church. I actually began at West Epping Uniting Church only at the beginning of this year. The people, when I began here, were very excited about beginning their next chapter. And they were open to change, to doing things differently, including doing worship differently. At one of the different worship services that we held, it was the first Sunday in Lent. And we were using a sanctified art resource, which used the theme of wilderness, which we were going to use throughout our Lenten journey. And for that first Sunday, we cleared the chairs out of the worship space and we brought in tables, put the chairs back in around the tables so people could sit in groups to discuss and to create wilderness vase displays, like this one here. Each element that was placed into the vase had a symbol, and at the beginning we placed in the sand, a symbol of wilderness, sand which accumulates over time, wearing away from rock and stone. And sand reminded us that wilderness has history. For as long as there's been creation, there's been wilderness. We added the twigs, branches that have lost their leaves, which reminds us that there are at times things that we need to let go of, and that we need to wait for new beginnings, for new growth to come onto these branches. We added stones as well. Stones were used by the Israelites to mark space and events, and we used them to mark our prayers as we prayed holding these stones for individuals who we knew were in a time of their life where they felt as if they were in the wilderness. Finally, we added some lichen. Lichen, a living thing that doesn't look terribly living, but that is a symbol of resilience, of life even in hardship, a symbol of hope. These became for us our symbol for Lent, a symbol of our journey in the wilderness. Little did we know that we would be sent into a different wilderness, a wilderness as the result of COVID-19, and that we would need to learn how to be church in a very different way, that we would need to learn to be church online and outside of the building. It has been a learning curve as we've tried and played with different things, as we've tried different aspects of Zoom, of YouTube, different techniques for filming. But we have learnt that we don't need to rely on our building so much. And we've been exploring and playing with how we are church, not confined to our building, but being sent out people outside of our building. We've been able to learn how to do not just worship online, but how to do other church activities online. We have moved our English conversation classes to online with Zoom. We've been doing mainly music online and able to connect in with those families, with those children, to sing and participate in an online kind of way. We're exploring how we can begin again a gathering as a playgroup, not using our building, but going out into neighbouring parks, being out with community and being gathered with one another. You will be viewing this just after we've had our first church picnic since COVID. And we are grateful in some ways for COVID and the way it has made us have to think more creatively. How we have been moved out of our comfort zone of being in church and are learning to gather again in the public space. I'm excited about what the future for church may be and how we may connect back in with being a public gathering and not being confined to our buildings, but being out in the public arena.